Official countdown. Wait, where'd the one go?
Yeah, I was wondering that. I think
Flights
we
of...
found the first floor in this otherwise flawless TV show.
Well... Oh, hang on. There's another countdown. Wait. Oh, alright.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, Guy Smiley.
We promise that by the end of today's show,
I can't tell if that's a bad visual effect or if they really sprinkled snow throughout their studio.
Some dude with really greasy hair is just shaking his hair above it, like sprinkling
right.
dandruff.
Like, it's like Breakfast Club.
Yup. Say, we can't afford snow, scratch harder.
we can do what we want. Total and complete anarchy. TV 14 isn't usual for us, but today we just got to
Isn't this public access?
This is public access, so this show isn't even rated. So technically he could go however as far as he wanted, but for some reason he's putting an arbitrary TV 14 rating on.
We're hardcore.
Hardcore 14-year-olds!
Oh, hello. Joe Schmo.
Down that chimney. Well, come on.
Something tells me this isn't their footage.
No, it actually looks like a PS1 cutscene or something.
Come on, hurry.
I don't think they'd do that.
All right.
They have top of the line CGI experts in the public access.
You know,
division.
I don't know how much money is in public access. I assume very little, if any at all, but...
Sorry.
Oh, alright, something...
So the snow stops. George is like, where's my snow gone? He's like, I'm all out of dandruff, I'm sorry. My scalp is bleeding.
Wait, why is he talking about Pulp Fiction?
Yes. It's a better
Oh,
question.
apparently he didn't even know I was mentioning Pulp Fiction. He just moved on to something else.
Is this Diddy Kong Racing?
How do
I
you
wasn't
go from...
listening.
How do you go... Yeah, I think... How do you go from Pulp Fiction to the Nintendo 64 in the same, like, sentence?
Clearly, John Travolta is Mario.
Oh, that makes sense.
I don't know how you get... Oh,
Yeah, I just forgot about that.
yep. It was leaked on the new... Why? Is this like the best footage they could capture?
Yeah, just footage of them screwing up and running into the wall.
Just stopping mid-race.
And losing races. This is George Wood actually playing the game.
I can't, I have no fingers.
Apparently, the people that control the puppet strings on his hands aren't very good at playing games.
This guy Smiley mashing the controller. Just like play better.
Diddy Kong Racing is a graphical feast, no question about it. But the gameplay is
Was this released around the time of Mario Kart? Or am I crazy and noticing similarities?
as explorative. But the only real exploration takes place in just two places. One, the overworld, which you can traverse in a few minutes.
This is pretty beautiful.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know either.
Wait, didn't we just play this footage of him spending like 2 hours to get that key?
The game's objective is for players to get first place in each race.
No, a racing game where you get first place? What is this? Anarchy! No wonder it's got TV 14.
Stuck in one area. Diddy Kong Racing basically has
FCC, watch out.
The bosses are totally cool. It will take several
Totally cool. Am I cool
a
yet?
gigantic stegosaurus. 2. The challenge is high, with both the bosses and the...
That's not the only thing that's high in this show.
Even easier tracks will require a little luck to finish first. Finally, number 3 is the 2 to 4...
Then we go back to George and his blazing.
This mode is awesome, because players spend more time setting up a sting where one person bombs another person just as he or she turns a corner than racing. Yes, each vehicle can be equipped with weapons. The game is all the better as a result. These 3 points compensate for the game's fairly short length, ultimately passing with a moderately enthusiastic thumbs up. Bomberman 64
We rate this game 1 thumbs up.
down. The graphics are not up to par for the N64 in some levels. The control is nothing to speak of, and the game just isn't fun. Here's an example of a series that has to stay in the 2D format in order to have that addictive flair of fun.
Like Mario?
The 3D format just totally blows the whole game. Complaint number 1. Your little Bomberman character runs
To think this is the guy who
around
complained that there was no
even
3D
pushing
Sonic on the
controls
Saturn.
full throttle. Complaint number 2. The game doesn't feel very puzzly for a puzzle game. In fact, that's just it. This isn't really a puzzle game. It's a sacrilege to the series. It's one of the few series that can't stray too far from the original formula without creating a total disaster. Players will quickly get sick of running around the sparse 3D worlds in search of enemies to bomb. The only puzzle element is that sometimes it's hard to
This
find
game has
out
no,
what
is nothing,
particular
is not
enemy.
puzzly at all.
The
Here's a
multiplayer
puzzle, by the
Bomberman
way.
mode is true to the original, but only a handful of stages are available. The main meat of the game is that darned one-player adventure mode.
Darned TV-14.
That darned one-player adventure
Gosh
mode.
darn it. How dare this game have one
Since we've done
player?
the review of Diddy Kong Racing, the game has grown on us even more. It's surprisingly challenging. It's
So,
definitely worth buying.
here's your negative review. By the way, this game is really good. You should
We've
buy
really
it.
been itching to do
This game sucks.
Get ready.
Buy it.
Here's our list of the worst movies of the year.
Why is
You
your
might think
why?
we're stupid,
Who
but
would
hey, we've got
pick
our
up
own
this
So
show?
just stuff it if you disagree.
What?
Boogie Nights is a flop,
Stuff it if
and
you
Pamela
disagree.
Wild-
How do you rate any of those really, really bad movies below Batman and Robin?
But geez,
Well, except
if
for the
it did exist, it
Pamela-
couldn't be any
what
worse
was
than
that?
the other
I
two.
don't know.
Speaking
Boogie
of
Nights
movies,
was
since we love to rate things, here are our
pretty bad.
nominations for the Flights of Fantasy Film Awards. For Best Picture,
The
Amistad,
prestigious Flights of Fantasy
G.I.
Film
Jane,
Awards.
The Ice Storm, and
Oh, wait, what is this? Is he reading the Oscar nominees, or
James L. Brooks, As Good as It
I
Gets.
is he
no
is he
idea.
creating his own Oscars and now reading the nominees?
In the Company of Men, Ang Lee, The Ice Storm,
I'm
and
so-
Robert
so
Zemeckis,
confused.
Contact. For Best Actor, Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Something tells me he likes
Leonardo
Titanic.
DiCaprio, Titanic.
No.
In the Company of Men, Peter Fonda, Ulysses Gold. For Best Actress, Helena Bonham Carter, The Wings of the Dove.
I wonder if there's a Titanic
Contact,
actress here.
Pam Grier, Jackie Brown.
I wonder if there's a
G.I. Jane,
best category
Kate
without
Winslet,
Titanic in it.
For Best Supporting
Oh, let's
Actor,
keep watching.
Robert Forsythe, Jackie
No.
Brown,
You really?
Yeah,
You're gonna call Billy Zane a supporting actor in
Al Pacino, The Devil's Advocate.
Is that how this
Billy
works?
Zane,
He wasn't even
Titanic.
that good.
For Best Supporting Actress, Kim Basinger.
There's no
LA
Titanic.
Confidential,
Oh my
Alice
god.
Elliott, The Wings
Why
of the
didn't you
Dove,
nominate Rose's
Bernie
mother or
Sewell,
something?
Eve's Bayou, Sigourney Weaver.
Or at least like
Ice Storm,
Molly Brown, I mean,
Vanessa
come
Williams,
on.
Soul
She was pretty cool.
For original song, Journey to the Past. From Anastasia,
My heart will go on.
Will Go On, from Titanic.
I know
Best
that
original
one.
We'll
song.
have the rest of our nominations next time. Stay tuned to the end
That-
of the
this was
show
only some of
for a
them.
magical musical montage to Titanic.
Montage.
You out there, don't go see this movie just because you don't want to sit in the theater for 3 hours. Well, I hope you die a slow and painful
What?
death over 3 hours. This movie is excellent, and it needs to be Starship Troopers.
You hate Titanic, die!
And it's in the theaters now.
In the future,
What?
wars will still be fought for honor.
Did he actually say, I hope you die a painful death lasting 3 hours?
Is this Starship Troopers or?
Is this a trailer or is he inserting... Did he get paid for putting this ad in? Is
No.
that how this works?
No one pays George. George pays them to let him use the footage.
Probably, yeah.
It makes you wonder how this show came to be. It's like the public access channel was just like, George, we'll pay your bail, but you gotta stop molesting children.
It's like
And you gotta
I
do
think
this show for us to pay us back.
we couldn't get anyone else. Not even the homeless people on the street want to be in it.
George, we gotta be honest, you're the funniest homeless person we've found.
Back to his filmmaking roots. Starship Troopers qualifies as cinematic junk food, but that's forgivable.
Oh wait, so it turned into a trailer into a review, or no?
George couldn't afford the DVD, he had to use the trailer as sample
Everyone
footage.
needs a high-calorie change of pace from fall's onslaught of costume dramas and other assorted Oscar bait. And Starship Troopers does the job admirably, despite its flaws.
Did you mention any of the flaws, or?
Based on the 1959 Robert Heinlein novel about
Apparently
interstellar
not.
war with giant intelligent insects,
There are flaws, take my word for it.
follows a group of friends beginning
I
with their
forgot
sheltered
NPH was in that movie.
through their wartime experiences.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot more interesting than this review.
Yep.
Everyone fights, no one quits.
The first half is something like a cheeky, futuristic hybrid of Saved by
Cheeky.
the Bell and G.I. Jane. This
PG-14.
soap opera's exposition is silly,
Those
but
popular
aware of its
shows.
own ridiculousness to merit more smiles than groans.
Boy meets girl.
Nothing screams popularity like Saved by the Bell.
Nothing screams popularity like George Wood.
I'm hopelessly devoted to him.
Boy eventually gets back to the other girl.
So we have that love triangle.
Here's some behind-the-scenes footage I ripped from the DVD.
And tons of macho training sessions, Starship Troopers really kicks into high gear. The last half is gruesomely violent action.
Here's some special promotion footage I recorded off television.
Disembowelments, explosions, and other jolt inducers that are really going to please the 13 to 14-year-old boys who dodge getting hearted on their way to this deservedly R-rated show.
What?
The creature design and special effects are as amazing as expected, and their interaction with the human actors is a realistic, imaginative high point. Phil Tippett, the special effects master known for bringing personality to his fantasy creatures, designed the bugs. The arachnids are a spider, scorpion, crab combo that are all sharp talons and even sharper legs.
This would be interesting without George's voice.
Yeah, I wonder who wrote this, like this review. I assume it wasn't George Wood. He would probably want a lot more
The sequences of insect warfare are
child
humorous,
molestation
funny,
jokes.
and immensely satisfying. The occasional dramatic moments are botched due to the lack of any strong, outstanding characters. These bland and impossibly good-looking Ken and Barbie archetypes
Impossibly.
serve the story adequately enough
Is that a,
to keep distractions at arm's length.
statement
but they're
about
restrained
George's
films to reach
sexuality,
Star Wars
or-
lofty heights, where even the slightest alien had personality. Most of the performers hail from the Aaron Spelling School of Acting, Beverly Hills 90210 and/or Melrose Place, and it shows. Casper Van Dien, for instance, from One Life to Live, is perfectly likable but limited. One of the best
We're
casting
still
calls
on
in the
this.
movie is having Doogie Howser star Neil Patrick Harris play a telepathic military officer, a small but juicy role.
Juicy.
juicy.
Trashy, fun, and full of monsters. It's a true guilty pleasure.
Wait, so was it good? I
Well,
couldn't
we're
tell.
out of trailer footage.
So there you have it. This movie is really stupid.
Unlike this review.
Yes.
Yeah?
Unlike me. What is it?
Do it now? Are you really sure?
Wait, why did you...
Okay.
Why did you keep
Ladies and
that in?
gentlemen, we're pleased to announce we're going to bring out the big guns early. We're really excited about showing you this awesome song from the video game
Awesome.
Discworld
He's like the
2.
Kingsley's
Get ready to
dude.
croak.
Awesome chips.
What?
There's a place
What did we just...
you're always
have?
Clearly the big guns of the show.
as nice as it can be.
I don't get it. What's happening?
Everyone can
It's a skeleton dancing.
cause
And
The show wasn't even live. Why were they talking to him about the show schedule in the middle of the show? And why didn't they refilm it?
Just enjoy the skeleton dancing.
lie around all day.
Oh, put that animation of the skeleton dancing. Let's hope they forget about what just happened.
That's death. No more sicknesses or flu.
What are we watching?
If you've lived beyond your
Where's this from?
you can die beyond
Did he ever say? Did we just miss that? Or
I think we missed it.
I hope we did. I don't know what's going on otherwise.
Yeah.
Why not simply join them on the other side?
So,
Say farewell to all your bills. Rip up all your wills. And
why do you need to pad out a show that doesn't even have ad breaks?
Is this
if you're not
suicide promoting or
it's the best way to lose weight.
I don't know what this is.
Nothing here to hurt you. No one's here to nag.
Death is the best thing ever, kids.
Just kill yourselves already, God.
You don't have to pay bills anymore. So this still isn't over.
All of them are here. And they're all
Oh We got a good more minute of it. We have a good minute of this.
You know, I never thought I'd want George Wood to be on my screen, but
George, come back, please.
No one came back to complain. You can't take it with you.
so they're crediting the people that made this video while the video is playing.
Why not just lie back and simply
I think this is the end credits to a game.
Well, it would certainly make sense to put that in the middle of your public access TV show.
Yep.
and that's death.
I guess it's funny because the main viewers of this show would be like 80-year-olds in Maryland. What was with that
Was
face?
so hysterical, we just had to show it to you. Anyway, it all goes downhill from here.
Oh, really? It was good at one point?
You into our commercial break.
It can get worse. Should I care?
Yeah, Batman and Robin was kind of a commercial flop. It's like,
You're not very, revolutionary,
Psych.
I
Just
guess,
kidding.
or controversial here,
Since it's Christmas, our
George.
gift to you is no commercials. Not
oh, thank God.
It's a fairly well-known
That may be at
fact.
the end. Oh, wait a minute, guys. Put that face up on the screen again. Who
Should
was
we
that?
care?
Was that Paul Newman's wife? She looks familiar to me, but
What
I
does
can't
Paul Newman
place
have to do with this?
What do you think that violates FCC regulations?
Oh, as if you were following them to begin with.
TSA?
We violated all of FCC regulations.
TV 14!
This show is rated TV 14, so any of you who can be stereotyped as a Republican and have young children in the room, prepare to take action. Here's our review for
Please sue me.
It's
Please, I need attention.
moving up the video game food chain, considering last year's mega hit.
George Wood is really a failed lawyer, and he just wants to have a case.
With minor control changes for sidestepping, and of course, all new worlds and vehicles. The game
He
starts
kept
off
agreeing. He keeps agreeing
a
with
dragon attacks the Great
the-
Wall, and a soldier notices a dagger embedded in his
God.
chest. Oddly,
Give me a
removing the
sec.
dagger results in the dragon's death. Weird. You play Lara Croft, complete with front-loaded anvils.
He keeps agreeing with the front. How do you fuck up a boob
The
joke?
dagger will take you just about everywhere, and that snow speeder kicks a major.
No, I don't know what. Please explain.
Slightly more action than exploration
Why would you
this time
focus
around,
on that
but you're
dragon
not
thing?
missing
That's a
different.
tiny
This is
part of
good,
the game.
Because that way everybody's happy.
Oh, well, this is clearly the best part of the game.
Clearly the gameplay's an A if you're finding it so easy to kill this enemy.
In answer to Lara's giant earrings, however, we have a challenge
What?
to IDOS. In Tomb Raider 3, create a storyline in which Lara gets breast cancer.
Come on.
A vulnerable dog, still persisting in her
He's serious too.
needs fleshing out, no pun intended.
Oh, why did you just do that?
And move at the
It's
effort
not
to
a
make Lara's
joke.
character more meaningful. We love Lara, but it's about time the industry had a big shock for a change.
Chuck, you're an
It's no
idiot.
shock that Tomb Raider 2 is excellent. Everyone should buy it. Period. The end. Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't make a period joke at
Nothing like
that.
breast cancer at all. We are
It
serious
needs
about
fleshing
our
out.
story. We feel they can actually
We
develop
are
a story
serious, by the
around
way.
the thing without changing any game mechanics. We've got more absolutely ridiculous marketing to voice tactics in our next batch.
Wait, so he gave this really long disclaimer saying, by the way, we're really trying to break rules. And then at the end he says, by the way, that breast cancer thing, we were totally serious. That wasn't just us trying to break rules. And it's like, what are
We
you doing?
respect the rules.
How can you go from that to just like go to this?
She needs breast cancer too.
Endowed. Yes, the trend is
The clown in the background needs breast cancer.
Only the beginning, folks. I wonder if there's a limit to the size of those things.
What?
I guess there's
What?
no limit to the imagination. If you think we're the ones who have the imagination, then you're mistaken. The knobs in question are noticeably bigger,
What?
and it's for a reason.
Knob.
To entice
Knob.
gamers. You can only tell the relative size in two places, though: the package design and the full motion video sequences. The game
Is he
itself
talking
can
about
picture character
boobs?
too small to see anything major. Pandemonium
No,
is
he's-
fun because you only have to worry about control in one horizontal plane. The game looks like it would have 3D control, but it doesn't. And we're not complaining. Because
That
the chances are
bastard.
the control would have sucked if it was 3D anyway.
Non-3D
Instead,
controls.
The camera moves around the world to expose the areas as we run through them. This
Why do we even
allows
need
us to
3D?
enjoy
Everything
the
should just
vast
stay
spaces
2D
and
at all
wild
times.
landscapes as we play
I
the
don't
game.
like changes.
Play Pandemonium 2 with either the female character or the male counterpart. You can even switch between characters after you finish.
But who would
the
play as
level.
him?
The
God.
girl has her own set.
Women in video games?
Vargas has another set. These moves include fireball attacks, spin attacks, and as the full motion video demonstrates, a Sid attack. Sid is the strange talking talisman.
When
that
George
you
Wood
throw at
played
enemies
Metroid,
to
well,
bounce
finished
them off the
Metroid.
screen.
Oh.
Pandemonium
When
2
someone
requires
finished
a lot more
Metroid
practice
for
and
George
carefulness
Wood,
than it looks. In that respect,
he
the
just
game
said,
is challenging.
I hope she had breast
Dedicated
cancer the
gamers
whole
should
time.
eventually beat it.
Remember when he
And
did that
players may
Super
find
Metroid
similarities
review
to
that he
Crash
just played
Bandicoot
through the
2's
first
obstacle
level?
course-like levels. Pandemonium
Oh,
2
no,
is
that-
not
that
the
is how
greatest game
reviews
in the
work.
world, but it's decent
Clearly.
fare with no one particular fault. It's an average game, if only due to the superiority of Cousins.
He's
Crash
spoiling
Bandicoot
like
and
this
Mario
entire
64.
stage.
Puzzle game fans may get excited over Intelligent Cube from Sony, although we don't see why. The game is simple by design.
Oh, is it? Oh, this is a new game.
execution. In other
New.
words, it's hard to beat, even though you're not doing much.
Over new,
All you do is
over
mark
way
the space
from
on the floor,
1994.
let a cube fall on it, then activate the marker to zap the cube. Puzzle games are just meant to tease the brain, but we still can't help but wonder why the cubes need to be zapped. Maybe we're plot crazy, but it'd be nice to know why the heck we're destroying rolling cubes.
God, when I play Tetris, I'm just so confused. Why are there blocks falling from the ceiling? I want a storyline.
We don't like this. It gets old in 5 minutes. And so does Cool Borders too.
Why does he just keep changing game? It's like,
Nice segue.
We still don't feel the action at all.
this game's so awful. You know what else is awful? This other game.
You press and hold X to charge your jump. Only when you let go of X does the jump occur. Whether this correlates to snowboarding or not, it's still awkward. You can't change direction while charging. And you can
He's
never
just as
forget
bad as
the
this
time
as
you
he is at
charge
Diddy
off the
Kong.
big jump off it. Also, 90% of the steering is done with sharp turns that are hard to control. The game has more modes than Carter has pills. A competition mode, a half-pipe mode, a freestyle mode, a big air mode, a board park mode. Modes, modes, modes. What about a better game mode? The whole business of
Good one,
performing
George.
tricks is too much of a focus in the game. You can't succeed in any
Snowboard
of the
game?
decent
Tricks?
modes unless
Since
you take
when?
the time to learn the stunts. All of the courses are poorly designed and very boring, leaving little left to speak good of. There is just one highlight. The narrator from last year
Wait, that
isn't
challenge
as
thing, does that mean if it's just hard in general, so they'd give like ET and A for the challenge? Is that the
only
idea?
real reason Cool Borders was even
Games
made
have
was to reel in
challenge?
all those
What?
conservative skiers. Skiing is very
I couldn't
popular
finish
in
this
that
game.
crowd.
A.
The game comes
I
out
give
just
this
as
game an
college kids are
F.
getting their semester break. Perfect timing.
I finished this game and I loved it.
Slightly
F.
better than Cool Borders 2. Can you
F
tell?
for challenge.
This is the year of the sequels. The controls are basically the same as Cool Borders 2, but with different button arrangements. The game also has all that physics stuff that we never feel. The controls are a little better, especially with analog, but to turn corners, you need only tap the thumbstick slightly. Just nudge it. The game doesn't have weapons like Diddy Kong Racing, but the turbo boosts are much longer.
I wish
than
Gran
Diddy's
Turismo
game.
had
With
weapons
only
in
10
it.
new tracks, Jet Moto 2 is
When
just
I'm playing
another
Gran
fire sequel
Turismo,
that
I
everyone
desire
should
the
pass
red
on.
red
Lastly, Parappa
shell.
the Rapper
That's it.
is the only game in this batch that gets a full thumbs up. Pandemonium 2 gets even thumbs, the others all down. Most remarkable
Down.
about this little gem is that there's an actual plot that sets up each musical number splendidly. Despite the game's low number of stages, each one will take a very long time to master. Not only do you have to repeat the instructor's rap, you have to do it in the same rhythm. This is easier said than done. We feel the game chops off our words unfairly as we play. This results when you're not in rhythm, but I tell you, I was in rhythm. I can keep a beat.
This game's unfair. Thumbs up.
That's it,
The best way
chicken.
to get an idea of what the game
I'm
is
telling
like
you, I
is
was
to
in
tell
rhythm.
us. Take it away, Parappa.
God damn it, I can sing.
Everything.
Money, money, money is all you need.
Money, money, money.
This game
This
is
is-
awful. B.
This is George Wood's anthem.
Do you know why we stopped the car? Do I know why we stopped the car? Yes. Yes. What? What? I forgot to close the door. You forgot to close the door.
Fantastic lyrics.
Now just don't forget, this ain't kung fu. Come on again. Check and turn the signal to the right. Check, turn the signal to the right.
Well, we've gone crazy today.
Crazy.
So many people have told us we needed to loosen up that we decided to grant them their wish. Let us know what you think about my antics, and if you
I think
still
when they said
I'm an
loosen
old
up, they meant
fart,
his
our address is
his movements.
Old Fart, 45 Flights of Fantasy Way. It's not fun, New York. 10036.
That's not a real address, is it?
Okay, the real address is
Oh, there we go.
BCTV,
Whatever.
care of FOF.
I prefer the other one.
2614 Ken Hill Drive,
It was more accurate with the whole old fart thing.
20715. Before we go on our much-deserved vacation, we've got a really cool trivia question for you.
Really
In
cool?
Earth years, which is the only possible decade in which the movie Star Wars could have occurred? A,
Why?
the 1850s, B, the 1980s, C, the 1990s, or D, the
Clearly
21st
the
I bet the answer's gonna be really
The answer is
stupid.
A. Star Wars takes place in the past, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Gotcha.
No.
didn't you? Lastly,
You're an
from
idiot.
Comedy Central.
Shut up, George.
Today. Number 1. Santa makes an extra $200 a year from doing live Christmas Eve telecasts.
No, he doesn't.
Number 2. The video game industry has gotten way out of hand in marketing to the male half of the species. And number 3. Absolutely nothing about FCC regulations. Well, listen, folks. I hope you have a great Christmas.
Was there a point to
We'll leave you
that?
with Titanic. I'll see you next year.
Holy few of Titanic.
Wait, is George dying or something? Oh no, we're just showing Titanic footage for some reason.
Something tells me George likes Titanic.
No, I don't know. I didn't get that impression at all.
Every night in my dreams, I see.
Whoa,
You see what?
that was beautiful. Thanks, George. You ruined video game reviewing as a medium for me.